Hello, everyone. I hope my crew doesn't escape, right? Because I just got them all corralled and in here, and it's a lot of fire, so Pocus is trying to make a run for it. I would like to welcome all of you who joined us today for this new moon in Virgo. As you all know, I believe in using the astrological alignments and the lunar cycles to co-create with the divine. New moons are about setting intentions. So the purpose of this today is to see what intentions do we want to set for this lunar cycle. What do we want to birth into the world over the next 30 days? I'm also grateful for each of you. There's a cat behind me. Oh no. They continue to show up for these ceremonies. Hold on, guys. We got a jailbreak. Come on, Jax. Come on, Jax. Come on, Jax. Come on, buddy. Come on. Okay, so Pocus took off. She may be back again, I don't know. And there's a cat behind me, behind this curtain, so this should be interesting. Because I hear her trying to make her way back over. But we're going to work through it. So I'd like to thank each of you who come for these new moon and full moon ceremonies. It gives me an amazing opportunity to spread my message, and also for my inner child to come out and play and do goofiness such as this. Like, I love this. This was a lot of fun for me setting up. Hopefully with all the fire and pets, I don't regret it later. And I'm grateful that we have this opportunity to come together for me to share the things that I'm learning in my personal life that may be of use to the collective. It has been my experience that oftentimes what I'm going through in my personal life is true for those around me. Remember, everyone is a mirror to you. So let's get into it. A lot of people wouldn't know this about me in the spiritual community, but I overcame a 20-year opiate addiction 8 years ago. A profoundly transformative experience, and I know now that that addiction I went through and suffered was so that I could learn to heal myself, so I could then go and help others who deal with the same things in the collective. There are a lot of people who find ways to numb their pain, whether it be shopping, gambling, sex, drugs, codependency. These are all tools we use to numb ourselves from the pain. The pain caused by contracts we made with members of our soul family before incarnating to come here and have challenging experiences to help with the evolution of our soul's growth, right? So we must not view these people that provide us with these painful situations and opportunities for growth and learning as our enemies. We must see them as our teachers. But in seeing them as our teachers, that does not mean excusing bad behavior. You know, my mentor has been helping me work through some of the things I deal with, because what she helped me to see recently and this is so profound, this goes along with that inner child teaching, that what I had done 8 years ago was I replaced my drug and alcohol addiction, or my opiate addiction, with a spirituality addiction. Like, I thought I was doing the right thing going spiritual, and I was, because I got connected with my true self and all that, but I was also using the excuse of enlightenment as a way to justify pain and avoid dealing with it. She said I was performing, and I love this, a spiritual bypass on myself. What a spiritual bypass is, and most of us probably in the collective who are still experiencing like blocks for that perfect relationship or for that abundance to flow through, it's because they think, well, they're spiritual, you know, they know a hell of a lot more than they did before, and their life has improved substantially. But there's still certain things that they just can't call into their experience. And it's because with spirituality, we've often been given the illusion of the spiritual bypass, which is because we're spiritual, we can often see an individual's wounding. Like someone who hurts me, I know why they hurt me. It's because they're wounded, it's because they were abused as a kid, it's because, you know, they're not spiritual, they're not tapped into the God inside of them, they're not coming from their highest vibration of love and light, all these different various things. So what I was doing was, when something painful would happen to me, instead of acknowledging my pain, I would immediately do the spiritual bypass. I would see the lesson, I would find the higher truth in it, I would make sense of it, I would make a laundry list long of excuses for why these people should not be held accountable for their behavior. And then I would often try to help them overcome their struggles. That is a spiritual bypass, because I was not acknowledging my own pain. I was too quick to jump into what's the lesson, seeing them, you know, from the highest expression, to make excuses for why they did what they did to me. And that is fine. That is evolved consciousness. That is the goal of enlightenment. Remember what Yeshua said, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. But Yeshua, who most of them are know him by Jesus, but his real name is Yeshua. That is something they lied to us about. Yeshua would tell his disciples and his followers that, yes, forgive them, they know not what they do. But don't keep going around so they can kick dirt in your face. Don't help them so much at the expense of yourself. Like you're putting someone else's needs before your own. You know, and oftentimes us in the spiritual community are so guilty of this. Bless our little hearts. We see a person and we see what they're capable of. We see when acting in alignment with their highest vibration of love and light, the greatness they're capable of. We see the God inside them. So we treat them according to that, instead of treating them in the realistic expression of how they show up, right? They're showing up inappropriately, they're not treating us right, and instead of like an overprotective mother, parenting our little wounded inner child, because our wounded inner child does not want their mother to go make excuses for the person who just victimized them. The wounded inner child wants their mother to be overly protective and guard their child against such attacks. And listen, guys, I'm not just referring to the behavior of the narcissist who is deliberately trying to keep you stuck in low frequency because misery loves company. I'm also talking about our lovers. People that suck and drain our energy. People that, you know, you're in a relationship with, they call you all throughout the day wanting you to tell them what you love about them. Or constantly making you do things out of the ordinary to make them feel needed. Or when someone calls you and says, "Are you mad at me?" For no good reason. That is someone's own inner child wounding, thinking the world's against them. And what I used to do was I would have extended phone call conversation with them, reassuring them that I'm not mad at them. And it was draining. It was completely draining. And it felt unfair. So now what I do, since I'm actually doing this inner child work, and I'm telling you, reparenting yourself, it's so neat because, you know, I knew I had a wounded inner child. I got a minor in psychology. I know what inner child wounding is. But when my mentor, Jody, taught me that it's about reparenting your inner child. So when I come at it from that perspective, it's real easy to know what to do when these situations occur. When someone hurts you so badly or treats you so unfairly. The wounded inner child me would make excuses for their behavior the mature grown-up adult in me, the enlightened me, would see the God inside them and know why they're hurting and even oftentimes want to help them. But the little wounded me was like, man, does anyone have my back? So what I'm learning to do now, and it's been really profound, is to allow myself the place and the space to get angry and to feel it. I can still send them love and light from a distance and pray for their healing and understand them. And in fact, that's what I believe I should do. Because we should not judge these people that cause us pain. We should understand they're members of our soul group that we made a contract with before coming to have that painful experience to learn a lesson for the ultimate evolution of our soul. But to learn the lesson and then dismiss that energy from your life. Or, you know, because you don't want to dismiss a needy friend who calls you all the time and says, are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? But you can, instead of staying on the phone with them for an extended period of time, reassuring them, you can say nope and let them go. It is not your job to soothe them. It is their job to soothe them. You're actually doing them a disservice when you try to take on their healing work for them. To them and to your little wounded inner child who is having a great day and doesn't feel like she should be forced to compensate for someone's lack of ability to soothe themselves. You know, lately, and I'll just give you a little piece of information about me, I've been doing as a release, because I'm an Aries rising and a Scorpio sun, as going outside with the permission of the tree I'm using and beating the crap out of it with a board to release so much anger and resentment and pain. Because I've been treated so unfairly. And what I didn't realize was the reason I've been being treated so unfairly for so long is because I had not learned the lesson. So I thought learning the lesson was seeing their wounding, not getting angry, coming from a higher consciousness place and trying to help them. I didn't realize that that was the block to my healing. The thing was, I was supposed to learn, and then the universe wouldn't have to keep sending me all this crap over and over again with different people, same situation. I was supposed to learn to get angry, to cry, to be mad, to say, man, that really sucked. That's not really a nice person. I don't want to play with them anymore. And then allow myself, without a guilty conscience, to cut that from my life. No excuses for bad behavior. None. None. Because when you make excuses for people's bad behavior, you prohibit them from looking at their issues and becoming a more evolved, better person, right? And you also wound your little wounded inner child all over again, because she just wants somebody to go to bat for her and let her know that that sucked and I love you and mommy's not gonna let no one hurt you like that anymore. If I would have allowed myself to feel the emotions so long ago, Spirit would have quit sending me this. So I'm super happy that I'm finally making headway on this subject. And I wanted everyone to realize in the spiritual community, because while most of us who are spiritual have overcome our drug, alcohol, sex, gambling, shopping, eating addictions for the most part, we have replaced it with the spiritual bypass, which is using the excuse of enlightenment to not feel our pain. You know, we got to stop treating people based on the God inside them that we know is there. And we must start treating people based on the realistic expression they show up in their vibration and handle them accordingly. Do yourself a favor before you do someone else, because all you're doing is hurting them and you. And the other part of this, so my mentor, Jody Redhawk, who I say all the time, I was going over my article with her because this is teaching that she's perfected from her own healing work from childhood trauma. So whenever I'm doing a teaching on healing the inner child, I run it by her for sure, because I want to make sure that I'm appropriately expressing the message she's communicating to me, and I'm not inaccurately portraying it to the public, you know, because I want to give the collective good information, not uninformed or not thorough enough information. And I read one part to her, and it said, my mentor Jody Redhawk informed me. And she's really teaching me, now that I'm becoming a teacher and an aspiring medicine woman, to be very careful with my words. And the reason for that is because, like she said, Carla, I helped you to see. I did not inform you. I did not tell you that you would replace drugs and alcohol with a spiritual bypass as a way to numb yourself from feeling the pain of the experiences you encounter. I helped you to see and come to your own conclusion by offering you the information on the spiritual bypass. I didn't tell you that's what you were doing. I gave you extra information and you drew that conclusion for yourself. Which brought us to an interesting part, which is going to be the next thing we're discussing, which I feel is very important, and so did she. She said it's very important as we move into the fifth dimension not to see anyone as our guru or better than us. She tells me all the time, don't put me on a pedestal. She says she wished instead of mentor or teacher, she could be called a reminderer, because that's what she does, is she reminds people of what they already know. And when she said that to me, I knew that teaching. She sparked my remembrance. So I want to share with you a teaching I learned, which is very true, and something she's reinforcing. So this is how it works. Before incarnating on Earth, you must understand, other planets and other dimensions, every planet and dimension has its own rules of engagement, right? And surely everyone in this audience knows there's other planets and other dimensions. So, the rule of the Earth thing is, when you agree to incarnate on Mother Earth, you also agree to pass through the veil of forgetfulness. You agree to forget everything you knew about the other side. Everything you knew about your creator, angels, your past lives. You agree to forget it all. And why would you do that? This is why you do that. And this is what Christ, Buddha, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, this is what they all came to show us. So you agree to pass through the veil of forgetfulness, forgetting everything you knew about the other side. And the whole purpose of this earth experience, the entire purpose, is to find enlightenment, which is for that remembrance in you to be sparked through your study and through your learning of your lessons and the evolution of your soul, to remember, while incarnated on this earth in the physical vessel, all that you knew before you passed through the veil of forgetfulness. That's the objective of the game. So that's why she said, Carla, it's very important to point out to the collective that no one is a better teacher for you than you. All the information we have or need is already inside us. Spirit just rendezvous us with members of our soul family to spark our remembrance of what we already know. So don't ever assign someone the guru of your life. They can help you to remember. They can share information. But all that you need to know to get through this earthly plane experience is already residing inside of you. And that's what Jesus, see, precious little Yeshua, he got so mistreated and misused while he was down here on our earth plane. You know, Jesus didn't come down here to die for our sins and save us. He came here to show us how to act, how to think, how to behave, how to look at our brothers and sisters, how to look at the way when people commit crimes against us, how to view them, how to behave as an enlightened soul. Because Yeshua knew that that is the goal to this earthly experience, is to find enlightenment while in the physical vessel. Not to have to die and pass through the veil of forgetfulness again to the other side to remember who you are. The whole purpose of this earth experience is to remember who you are in the physical vessel and then act as an angel here on earth, helping your brothers and sisters to wake into the truth of who they are. You know, there's a lot of Christ-like figures. Yeshua or Jesus was not the only one. Every great religion has their Christ figure. Buddha, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary. And let me explain something too about the divine feminine. You have had many great spiritual teachers who have found enlightenment in this physical vessel. And their contributions have been downplayed deliberately. Because the female, the divine feminine, is the seed of all creation, right? She's connected to the intuition. The ruling elite that took over Earth so long ago, that 1% that control the other 99% of us, trying to make us all miserable, they didn't want you to know the power of the divine feminine. So what they've done throughout time is downplay their role, make women seem crazy because they listen to their gut. Because women are tapped in closer to God, Creator. They are the seed of creation. They are what births life. That's why back in the days of ancients, you had men that were hunters and gatherers and all that stuff, and women raised the children. They're more nurturing by nature. You know, our society and our world has tried to flip-flop everything. Make what's wrong right and right wrong, and, you know, this and that. So, to me, the biggest thing they did to destroy the family unit was when men went to war and women had to go to work, because then there was no one there to raise the children. But the 1% had a plan. They gave us that horrible television set to become the American babysitter, to totally demoralize us as a society and promote pure evil. And I'll say again, if you're watching horror movies on TV or negativity, you can only serve one master. And your creator in heaven, God, source, God, whatever you want to call him, would never approve of the smut that's on those televisions. Turn the TV off. Turn it off. Just turn it off. I wish I could do a magical spell and just break them all, but I would never do that because that stuff comes back on you tenfold. But, you know, in a perfect world, it would be nice because you just don't know how bad it is for you. You just don't. It's deliberately put there to keep you stuck in low frequencies, to keep you in a controllable bandwidth. In a controllable bandwidth ruled by the matrix that the ruling elite, that 1%, that rule the other 99% of us control. So I guess what I'm getting at is for this new moon in Virgo, why don't you consider now, before we go into our meditation, thinking of some things that you would like to set intentions to begin doing. Whether it be putting up healthier boundaries with people, no longer allowing narcissists or insecure, needy, codependent people to suck your energy. Put up your boundaries and know that you are doing them a favor, not a disservice, by making them deal with their own shit. All you do is prolong the inevitable. When you over coddle, over nurture someone else, limit their ability to do it themselves, because why should they have to if you're doing it for them, right? You know, don't get it twisted. Yeshua did not come down here to say he was better than us. He came down here to show us what we were capable of if we got into an alignment with the divine will of God, that our faith could move mountains, that we could heal the sick. And he came down here to show us how to do that, how to think and view our world and handle the injustices committed against us in a way that is enlightened, so we could stay in alignment, so we could help our brothers and sisters. And he is not the only one who did this. Every great religion has their Christ-like figure. And there's been amazing women, divine feminines, like Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, who have done this, who you never hear really much about. They used Yeshua. They murdered him. And then they used him and made him their mascot. And then they totally subverted his teachings. You want to know what Christ's true teachings were? Why don't you start in the Nag Hammadi scriptures? Why don't you start somewhere that isn't mainstream? Because mainstream doctrine is just that, designed to indoctrinate you. Right? Okay, so while we go into this meditation, be thinking, what can you set the intention for this lunar cycle that you want to birth into the world? Whether it be a new, healthier, happy, whole you who has appropriate boundaries. Okay, that was the phone ringing. So I think that's what Spirit wants y'all to focus on. My music cut off. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'll catch on fire. I'm so goofy. I am. Okay. So let's do our meditation. I would like everyone to take a deep breath. Breathing in your fear, concerns, and worry. And exhaling faith and love and clarity and knowing. Long, deep breaths in and out. Focus on your breathing. I'd like you to imagine a beautiful white light coming in to the room where you're sitting. No. Hold on, excuse me, my son's here. Seth, now's not the time. Give Mama 5 minutes. I love you. No, go. 5 minutes. I love you. Like the pets escape and now he goes in. I know you're all done. You have to wait. I'm doing something. You just have to wait. Imagine a white, beautiful light coming into the room where you're at, surrounding your body. This is your protective white light from the divine to ensure that only things of the highest frequency are allowed into your area while we go on this meditation journey. Now I'd like for you to imagine a beautiful rainbow color cord coming out from the sole of your feet, reaching deep into Mother Earth, deep into the crystalline grid of Gaia, grounding your energy in. Now I'd like for you to imagine a beautiful emerald green plasma energy orb located right above your head. This is your crystal communication orb to the divine. Long, deep breaths in and out. Accept the energy placed over my head, and I extend the same healing energy and protective energies to everyone in my family. Sacred angel fire from the depths of creation, I intend I am infinite love and infinite awareness. I am grateful that I have been healed completely, and I am the formless awareness of consciousness and the formless spirit of unconditional love and light. I invoke sacred angel fire to fill my body and sacred angel fire to cleanse my home. I invoke sacred angel fire to protect my family. I invoke the silver violet flame of Venus, the light energies of the celestial sun, the wisdom and knowledge energy of the Lion's Gate, and the healing energies of our beloved Gaia into every thought, action, and feeling I have ever had, am having, or will ever have. Universe, I want you to do my part. I petition you today. I want to be fully protected. I invoke sacred angel fire into all etheric weapons and into all artificial intelligence viruses. I invoke sacred angel fire into all dark entities. I extend the protective white light of sacred angel fire, and all the sacred energies permeate the dark entities, their etheric weapons, and their artificial intelligence viruses and tools. Thank you, universe. We are the violet flame. We are the violet flame. In action in us now. We are the violet flame. To light alone we vow. We are the violet flame. In mighty cosmic power, we are the light of God shining every hour. We're the violet flame blazing like the sun, healing everyone. out today's ceremony. I'd like everybody to take a deep breath and set the intention for this next 30 days of this lunar cycle to birth the new you into this world. Start to set up those healthy boundaries. Start to cut cords with the energetic drains. Start to take your power back. Okay guys, before one of my cats jumps and catches something on fire, or we have a huge disaster, I'm getting in things. Once again, I bless and thank each of you who come. If you didn't attend, I would have no excuse to do this. And this goofiness is so much fun for me that I just love it. So bless y'all. Namaste.